Okay, so we have another installment in Guilty Pleasure Movie of the Week for Halloween month. I'm pretty sure this is going to see a lot of Guilty Pleasure Movie of the Week segments for this Halloween month series. Let's get into this. Okay, so we have the remake of The Fog, which is 2005, directed by Rupert Wainwright. It is a remake of the original by John Carpenter and Debra Hill. And this will be the last movie that Debra Hill was involved in. Then, as she died, there's release. So, the basic plot of this movie is in 1871, William Blake arranges to purchase half of Antonia Island off the coast of Oregon to establish a leper colony for his afflicted people. However, the residents of Antonia Island double crosses Blake and they loot his clipper ship, the Elizabeth Dane, and they set it all on fire, killing all aboard. Then 130 years later, the residents are honoring their founding fathers who burned the Elizabeth Dane, and a statue of them is to be unveiled at the anniversary. But then the pauperous town of this Antonio Bay is born in blood as the town's fathers get their money by murdering a colony of lepers. And the truth of what they did is concealed from subsequent generations. And more than 100 years later, Elizabeth Williams, whose family lives in Antonio Bay, returns just as a statue in tribute to the founders to be unveiled. And when the mysterious fog rolls in, Elizabeth and her boyfriend Nick soon discovers that it has vengeful superpowers. And so they have to get those people to safety and outrun the fog, as you say. This one I saw on cable, and I didn't like this one a whole lot when I first watched it on cable back a few years ago. I thought this was just a crappy remake, even though I never saw the original until later on, which now I have. But looking back on it, still watching, this remake, it grew on me, and we had DVD copy, and so I would put this in and watch it more and more times. But this remake of The Fog is somewhat watchable, but there are problems. One is that this movie is kind of style over substance. It lacks suspense at certain moments. Also, I feel like the film did drag on in a couple of moments. And the last thing I thought is that some of the cinematography and some of the way this movie looks is not all that good. And I know this movie had only a budget of $18 million, so of course it's not going to look good. But for the budget of $18 million, The Fog looks really good. Through actual fog, practical fog, and CGI, it looks pretty good. The music is pretty good by Graham Revell. Acting is pretty solid from Tom Welling, who was just only in season 4 of Smallville, so he had to do this and The Fog. Selma Blair is really good in here too, as the little news reporter. Maggie Grace. Say what you will about her, but I like Maggie Grace. She doesn't bother me. She's not the worst actress I've seen. You also got DeRay Davis as Spooner. He's funny, but also terrified. and all the other actors in here, they do a pretty good job for what they have to, what that was required of them. So, and the one guy, Blake, who he is all covered in makeup. I don't know his name. I think it's Rade. Šerbedžija. Ray Šerbedžija. I hope I got that name that right. Anyways, I will be trying something different in the description box, inspired by another YouTuber, where he puts all the information down below. So, and I will still put Joshua talks about this one about that, but between some bad things and some good things, this is a remake that I am very mixed about now, because I did hate this remake when I first saw it. Then over the years I grew to appreciate it, but now looking back at it officially again, it's a remake that I'm very mixed about. So the fall of 2005, at the end of the day, the original is a better movie, despite what some people may say about it, but I like it. I think this remake is decent, and because it's a decent guilty pleasure, it's gonna go in guilty pleasure movie of the week, and I'm gonna give it a middle valley. Let me know what you guys think of the remake of The Fall down below. Do you like it? Do you hate it? I know a lot of you guys hate it, and if you like this, you can come here and we can have a good time.